I read about tools that we can use to improve our mental health and to manage stress on jrosemarie.com. In today's episode, I talk with Jeff Patterson, who is an expert in meditation practice. Check out this episode and see if it can help you with improving your meditation practice if you have one, or adapting a meditation practice. You'll find that meditation is not as difficult as it sounds or take as much time as you think. I'm J. Rosemarie. Thank you for listening.
In this battle of life, it's hard to keep your head above the water. To win this fight.
My guest today is Jeff Patterson. Thanks for coming and talking to us on SoloMoms Talk, Jeff. Nice to have you.
Hey, thank you very much for having me here.
Yes, for sure. Before we get into what you do, could you tell us who is Jeff Patterson?
Yeah, I have been here in Portland, Oregon since the late 80s, and I run a meditation and martial arts academy here in Portland that I've been running for 30 years now. And um, one of the things that, it's always been fun working with athletes that come and want to compete in like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or Muay Thai or whatever. And I've always enjoyed that. But through the meditation program, we've had over 26,000 students come through the academy, and you get people coming in here that are dealing with illnesses and stress disorders and wanting to stay healthy into the later years in life, and witnessing how the meditative arts has been transformational in hundreds of people through the years has really made me inspired to get this message out there and promote the meditative arts to people. And so that's why I created my online and my teacher training program and written my last couple books. And that's what's given me the motivation to just get out there and get this message out.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing that personal part of your story. Meditation, we hear a lot about it, and um, some people say, oh, it's great, it helps me. Other people say, I don't have time for that. What is your one take on the everyday population adapting meditation, to improve their lifestyle?
There's so many benefits from the practice. I think that everybody should do a little bit every day. I really always kind of come back to the quote from the Dalai Lama where he said, everybody should meditate for 20 minutes a day. Unless you're too busy, then you should meditate for an hour. And I love that quote, and that, it's so valuable and so enriching to be able to put down the barriers and take off the masks and just truly stay connected to who we are. And that's one of the things that meditation helps us do. And, in today's fast-paced society, we're getting bombarded with advertisement and distractions. We've got our cell phone and our tethered to our hand, 24/7, and all of these things going on. To just have a little bit of time every day where you can get rid of the audios, get rid of the videos, get rid of the electronics, and just kind of stay connected to yourself, I think is invaluable and something that, everybody should experience.
Yes, absolutely. And I agree. Tomorrow we recognize mental health awareness in our lives. And as a show that caters to solo moms, I am well aware of the effects that being a solo mother have on our mental health. Tell us how we can utilize meditation to help us to mitigate some of the stresses, that we get in our lives.
Well, there's so many ways that meditation can help influence our lives and give us the tools and the ability to deal with these stressors when they come up. One of the things that I always teach people when they come to the meditative practice is giving them the understanding of something I call the five regulations. And within these five regulations, they're the fundamental tools of any meditation practice, whether you're doing a sitting practice, a movement practice like Tai Chi or Qigong or yoga, standing meditation. It doesn't matter what it is. And so, briefly, I'll kind of talk about what these are. And by understanding them a little bit, you'll see how the meditative practice can influence every area of your life. The f- the basic regulations are regulating the body, regulating the breath, regulating the mind, regulating the energy, and lastly, regulating the spirit. Regulating the body is the easiest one to see some progress on in a very short amount of time at a surface level. So what I mean by that, the basic understanding of regulating the body is how are we using our skeletal alignment and controlling our muscular tension in the body, and having the ability to see these things and adjust them can play a big role in our overall energetic expression throughout the day. And an example would be, think about a time maybe when you're sitting down at your computer for 3 or 4 hours and your neck's feeling sore and you're starting to feeling depleted and just in an overall drained state. And then another time when the most important person in your world walks in the room and your body perks up and you just are energized and you feel great. We're in control of these two different energetic expressions 100% of the time, all day, every day. And so having the ability to recognize this and to utilize these tools to find that balance and to present ourselves in this world with the energetic expression that we want is really valuable. And now this is kind of like the surface level of regulating the body. Then there is how we maintain our muscle so we have enough muscle on the body to stay healthy and flexible, and our diet to give us the right food, nutrients, so we're energized. All of these things are kind of part of that regulating the body idea. And then next, we have regulating the breath, which is a very deep topic and something that if you take on a meditation practice, you'll be studying for the rest of your life. And in fact, in Qigong, they often refer to Qigong as the science of the breath because there's literally hundreds of different breathing strategies. And these strategies help us get different outcomes. And an example of that would be, think about maybe a time where you were listening to somebody sleep. You will notice that when they inhale a lot longer than they exhale. And this is the body's natural way of bringing our energy from our conscious mind into our subconscious mind, which is where we are when we're sleeping and dreaming. So, if we want to emulate this idea or this style of energetic expression, we can do longer inhales, maybe soft retentions at the end of the inhale to help bring that energy inward. And this is great for stress reduction, dealing with anxiety, panic attacks, boosting your creativity. I mean, there's lots of reasons why we would do this yin side of the breath. Then we have the yang side of the breath, which is more aggressive. And it's kind of like if you've ever had to push your car, you pick up something heavy, your natural instinct is to put tension in the breath, maybe make it audible. And this helps generate energy and power. And so once we understand how to use the breath strategically, and in Chinese philosophy, they call this balancing the kan and li, or the water and fire. Now we have the tools to adjust our physical, mental, and emotional outcomes throughout the day. Everybody goes through the day with emotional ups and downs. Some people are like a roller coaster, others may be a little bit more balanced. But when you start recognizing these imbalances and say you start to get excited, we can use the yin breath to help bring you back down. And when you start feeling a little depleted, we can use the yang breath to bring us back up. And now we can maintain that energetic balance throughout the day, which is very effective for controlling our mental states and our emotional states. Then the next regulation is regulating the mind. And just like the breath, regulating the mind is a lifelong practice. And, one of the things that I hear people say so often is that I tried meditation, but I just couldn't quiet my mind. I couldn't do it. And, somewhere along the way, most people got this idea that in order to be good at meditation, you have to quiet the mind and reach this blissful place where nothing bothers you. And, it couldn't be further from the truth. I've spent the last 36 years of my life traveling around the world, training with meditation teachers all over the planet. And I've trained with some really amazing people. And I've never once met anybody who doesn't get distracted. It doesn't matter how skillful you are or who you are, we all do. And when you can change that mindset and realize that you're not failing when that happens, that's when we really start to see some more of the benefits of the practice. And for example, if you're doing a movement practice or a sitting meditation and you've been doing this for 20 minutes and you get distracted 50 times during that session, every time you get distracted, you recognize the distraction. You use the posture, the breath, your movement to help bring yourself back to focus. And now, if you do this 50 times a day, every week, every month, every year, you start to develop this awareness and this power under any distraction to help you come back to the present moment and be more focused. There's this story that I really enjoy about these two older monks, and they're walking down this dirt road after a huge rainstorm. And they come up to this big mud puddle, and on the other side of the puddle is this beautiful little girl standing there in a white dress, and she's crying. And the older monk yells across the puddle and says, "Is everything okay? Can we help you?" And she says, "I need to be somewhere, but if I cross this puddle, I'm going to get my..."
Hello, SoloMoms. Do you feel isolated and alone in your parenting journey? Are you tired of facing the challenges of solo parenting by yourself? If so, then I have the perfect solution for you. Join SoloMoms Connect, the ultimate support group for moms raising children on their own. As a solo mom of 3 adult sons, I want to provide a safe and welcoming space where you can connect with other moms, share your experience, and find answers to your questions. So don't go it alone. Be part of a thriving community of solo moms. Join Solo Moms Connect today and get the support and guidance you need to succeed as a solo parent. Join us today and be a part of a community of strong and resilient solo moms. Solo Moms Connect, building stronger communities, one mom at a time. So don't wait, click the link below and join us today.
Dress all dirty. So the older of the two monks, he rolls up his pant legs and walks across the puddle and picks her up, puts her on his back, takes her to the other side and sets her down, and she's off on her way. Well, him and the younger monk are walking a couple miles down the road, and finally, the younger monk is just furious, and he says, "You know we're not supposed to touch girls, but yet you did back there at the puddle." And the older monk looks down at him and says, "You're still thinking about that girl? I left her back there at the puddle." And how many times in life do we have to get 2 miles down the muddy road before we figure out that, hey, this is something we need to let go of? And so regulating the mind is a very valuable part of the practice. The fourth regulation is regulating the energy. And regulating the energy is a very deep topic and something that we could literally talk about for hours, but I'll just give you a basic understanding of it. And with a lot of the meditations we do, we circulate the energy in the body, we lead it inward, we extend it outward. And once we've reached a competent level of regulating the body, the breath, and the mind, then we have the tools to control this energy in the body and lead it different places to get different outcomes. And then the last regulation is regulating the spirit, which is a very deep, profound idea. And meditation monks and meditation masters and Qigong will spend their entire life working towards this stage of enlightenment. But within these 5 regulations, they're the fundamental principles of any meditation practice. And when you start cultivating these areas, you can see that they can affect any area of your life.
Okay, thank you. That's very interesting. But I wanted to bring a point up I've studied transcendental meditation, which is sitting down and focusing, as opposed to something like qigong, which is more physical. And correct me if I'm using the wrong terminology or whatever. This is a show about understanding meditation. But it sounds to me like qigong is more man's thing. Am I correct? Is that
Oh,
wrong? Okay.
no, not at all. A lot of women practice Qigong, and Qigong is not just physical. It does have physical forms, but we do sitting meditation in Qigong, we do breath work, we do standing meditation, we do the philosophical side of the training. And so it's a very deep practice. In fact, all of Chinese medicine is based off of Qigong theory. And so Qigong is a very deep practice. I kind of break it down into 5 directions of the practice. So you have the physical side, which is great for athletes to help them improve their performance. You have the therapeutic side, which is good for increasing your body's strength and flexibility and working through injuries. And then there's the medical side, which I already mentioned, which is a very deep pillar of the practice. Then we have the philosophical side, and then also the meditative or spiritual side. And people come to the practice for any one of those reasons. And as you start to build an evolving life practice around the meditative arts, we'll pull different things from the Qigong practice, whether it's forms or sitting meditations or breath work or whatever it is, to start building a practice around your lifestyle.
Okay, all right. Thanks for clearing that up for me. What role does yoga play in meditation and in lifestyle?
So, yoga is another meditative practice, or it can be used as a meditative practice. And when I talk about the meditative arts, I'm referring to any type of sitting meditation, standing meditation, Tai Chi practice, Qigong, yoga, anything that involves that meditation element. Because when we're building a meditation practice, we want to cultivate those 5 regulations that we talked about. And some of them are going to help with the body and the development of that. Some are going to help with our breath work. Some are going to help with the mental side of the training, the energetic side, and then that realization or that spiritual side. And so all of these can kind of play a role in all of those areas of development.
Okay, all right. Thank you. So, tell us what you do for your clients, your customers, how you help them, and how we can get in touch with you.
Yeah, so with anybody new coming to the meditative arts, I always like them to do 3 things that I think will help them be successful. Because being a teacher for over 30 years, one of the hardest things and the biggest challenges I come up to is getting people to realize the value of this practice so they do it and they can see the benefits of it. It's one thing when you come to a practice like this, or even if it's walking every day or running every day and whatever that is for you, and you look at it as a chore. Oh, I got to go do my meditation. I got to go do my walking today. But if you change your mindset and you look at it like, hey, this is something I get to do. I see so much value in this. I'm so happy that I've got 20 minutes to go meditate. Then you really start to kind of live the practice, and it starts to become more of a way of life and a lot less of a hobby that we do once in a while. And so the 3 things that I like people to consider, the first one is, why are you interested in coming to this practice? Do you want to stay healthier into your later years and be able to watch your grandkids grow up and be more mobile and flexible and feel better in your body? Or are you dealing with stress disorders, maybe have anxiety or panic attacks? Or maybe you're an athlete and you want to improve your performance on the field or your creativity. There's lots of different reasons. And if you have a strong why and you've spent some time thinking about what's important to you, then tomorrow morning or next week or next month, when your alarm goes off and it's time to get up and go do your practice, you're not tempted to hit the snooze button. You're like ready to go. You're like, hey, I get to go do my practice. And so having that why is extremely important. The other thing, two things are, one is consistency and understanding that this isn't something that we do once a week. A lot of people think that, oh, when I get stressed out, I'll just go meditate. That's not how it works. It's got to be part of your lifestyle. You've got to build the momentum and put in the work. It's like, you can't just think, I want to go eat an apple, so go plant a seed today and you're going to have an apple this afternoon. It takes time. And so having that consistency, it builds discipline and integrity and perseverance, and these qualities that come from your practice feed over into everything you do in life with your relationships, your work, your hobbies. And so that consistency is very important. And then thirdly is the idea of finding a good guide or a teacher, because the meditative arts is an extremely deep subject. It's something I've been studying for 36 years, and I'm still just a student learning all the time, and it's my profession. And so if you think that you're going to go onto YouTube and learn a couple things and self-teach yourself and be successful in the practice, you're in for a bit of a rude awakening. I've literally seen people that have been self-taught come into the academy that have been training 15, 20 years, and they'll come in here and see somebody that's been around the academy for a year and get frustrated because they're so much further along in their development. And here they've wasted 15 years of their life doing this practice. And so, life is short, your time is valuable. Finding a guide that can help you and point you in the right direction and give you some of these tools to get there on the shortest path is just extremely valuable. And so with these three things, what is your why, understanding the importance of consistency and having a guide, you can be the most successful with your practice. And if you like this idea or this philosophy right now, I'm offering a free copy of my book. If you just go to theyieldingwarrior.com/book, you could order a free copy, just pay for shipping and handling. Also at theyieldingwarrior.com, I have my online program up there, which will teach you how to use the meditative arts to build an evolving life practice with these things, and learning how to use movement practices, breathing exercises, still meditations through sitting and standing meditations, how to integrate the philosophy into your life. And lastly, if you're somebody out there maybe who has a business, maybe you're a life coach or you have a yoga studio or a martial arts studio, and you'd like to integrate the meditative arts into what you're doing, we also have a teacher training program up there.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. And we'll put those links in the show notes. I do remember one time when I first started meditating and doing yoga, and I was just doing it. I was going to a studio, and about a week or two later, it dawned on me that I felt better. Like my whole mind shift to it just almost seemed magical, right?
Yeah.
And I think that until you reach that place, it's hard to appreciate the practice. Yeah, I can appreciate that. So what is Jeff grateful for today?
I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful that I'm healthy so I can get up and do my morning ritual every day. I'm grateful that I get to work out and come to the academy and help people. There's a lot to be grateful for.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So I appreciate you coming and talking to us, Jeff, on SoloMoms Talk. Any parting shot, especially for this Mental Health Awareness Week and for solo moms who are tired raising their children alone?
I think something to think about is, I mentioned that I've had a lot of students through the years, and of the students that come in here and they incorporate a 20-minute a day ritual practice, integrate some active practices into their day, which are things that you can do in 30 seconds, 2 minutes, and just kind of start integrating this meditation lifestyle into your life. If you follow that for a year, you'll see so many benefits from this practice that you'll do it for the rest of your life. And I bet that's the case 98% of the time with people that come in here and follow those instructions. And I guarantee you, if you do that, it'll be one of the best things you've ever done. But it does take work. You got to put the time in, and you've got to be consistent with it. But it really is an amazing practice that will offer many fruits along the way.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jeff Patterson, for coming and talking to us today. I appreciate you.
Thank you.